Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ruth Karuba. In case you're new here, karibu sana. So on today's topic is about time management. You have heard that time is money. Time lost can never be recovered. So time is a limited asset. Actually, it's like uh throwing or shooting at the stars. Once the strikes have passed through the sky, you can really never get to reverse that process. Yeah. So want to see how, sometimes we feel like okay, it's all common knowledge that a day has 24 hours, but sometimes we tend to feel like we need more time to get tasks done, or others are getting ahead in terms of time management than us, and we want to tackle that and how to go about time management. So you might ask me, madam, what is time management? Basically, time management is the process of planning, organizing, dividing your time, and controlling how you use uh, the time that you have. Remember, as human beings, time is here, time is infinite. We are the ones who are going, we are going to our graves, we are going wherever, but time is there. And sometimes, for example, you could be neglected, and there is a common advice that goes around that when people want to have time with you, they will do it. They will not be saying, I'm busy, I'm doing this. No, they will cultivate or schedule some time to have quality time with you, especially in when it comes to nurturing our relationships, even at family level. Yeah. So you could not be saying that I'm at work, I'm looking for money so that I can afford you the best life. Okay, you should not, yes, feel guilty, but at the end of the day, your presence speaks more than even that money. You understand? Yeah. So why is time management important? One, it will get tasks done on time, and that will improve your reputation, especially as a professional. Like for me, I've been a virtual assistant. I still do, like when I'm doing the CV writing. I believe the people who dedicate their work, they want a short time around. Yeah, they have given me the work, they expect that I should deliver actually before the deadline. Yeah. So that is about reputation. Another thing, it helps you to feel accomplished. When you're ticking, done, you see, you feel nice. Another thing, it ensures that you have productivity, like there's workflow happening. And also, when you're managing your time wisely, it helps you to take advantage of other opportunities. You understand? Like, for example, you're a university student. When you manage your time at school vizuri, let's say instead of having to go for the 4 years, just two trimesters, you can decide to compact. You go for the trisem, so that you really tend to finish your work, your coursework early, and have time, to explore other opportunities. Because remember, there's that waiting time before your graduation. After your graduation, you'll have to wait for your documents. After your documents, you'll have again to be patient to get other documents. Then you start, maybe the other documents I'm talking on are things like letter of recommendation, meaning, yeah, the certificate as English as a medium of communication. You see, all this, the medium of instruction, sorry. So you see, there's that patience. So the earlier you tend to finish your task or manage that time wisely, it will ensure that you are ahead of the pack. Yeah. Another thing that I wrote, it reduces stress. Yeah, you'll not be like, you have been caught. I know the Gen Z and the current generation are last minute people, and it's not good, because you'll be having maybe an assignment needs to be delivered midnight. Then maybe even a job application, like that ever happened to me. You've you find like maybe the network is slow, it's slow, and you're saying I'll keep doing tomorrow. You are procrastinating. Then the deadline reaches and you find that you have not applied, so the opportunities will actually pass you. You will have stress, you'll be depressed, you see, and that's not healthy. Yeah, another thing that I say is that it helps you to meet deadlines and ensure work-life balance. So those are some of things that are associated with time management. Obviously, basically you're trying to be efficient and effective as possible in using the resource time. Okay, yeah, so want to see how you can manage time. And this video is not only for students, for professionals, even stay at home parents, for teenagers, especially teenagers. Remember, especially right now during the holidays, you need to rest. You are expected to study, expected to help at home with the chores. You need to meet your friends. You want to catch up maybe on social media. So you need to structure your day to meet all those things. Yeah, as a maybe a stay-at-home parent, I learned this even from my aunt. She was like, you need to wake up early so that you do maybe chores like clothes. As you wash them, you finish, you mop, then you'll have plenty of time now to do your own stuff, maybe sleep. You can get to read your favorite book, you can get to watch your favorite movie, your favorite TV program. Like for supper, we used to cook as early as 6, so by 7 food is ready. We eat, as a family. Yeah, then you wash the utensils, then now you're free to watch. Maybe it was something like Churchill Row. Yeah, and the day stops at there. Even when you're, let's say, a house help, a domestic manager somewhere, time management is very important. Haswa when you find like there are children in that family, and you don't have an extra help. Yeah, and maybe the rest of the people are going to work, or they're basically, or even if they are at home, maybe they're working from home, so they need that time free from children and other distractors. So it means like literally you have to plan your day so that you do the other tasks before the main work comes. Children usually tend to be, how can I say, clingy. They don't want to be left. They want to be seeing you there. So you really have to plan. Otherwise, my mother keeps telling me, you don't mtoto hafai kutangulia kuamka. So in as much as at some point she got even tired of, we wake up late and we're like, I planned my day. I had maybe done what I was supposed to do that morning, the previous night. If it's mopping, washing, done. So why should I wake up? Nenda wapi? We used to ask that. But right now I understand. She was trying to inculcate that skill of time management, which is very important. Squeezy, I just wake up on my own very early, even without an alarm. Why? Your problems will wake you up. Shida zako zitakuamsha. Your own tasks. Okay, so I was talking even about children. You have to wake earlier before them, or else if you wake up at the same time, they're hungry, they become angry because of the hunger. So you also get frustrated because you want to maybe warm up some food you want to cook, they're not giving you that time, and that you find maybe accidents have occurred, you've burnt them, you have cut yourself. So it is good that you learn to manage your time wisely. Yeah, that's the basic background. Yeah, so how do you get to manage time? One, you must acknowledge that there is time and a season for everything. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. There is an appointed time for every affair on under the heavens, literally. That's why even we keep saying about priorities. Maybe you're a student, you should not be dealing now with relationships. You'll be having too much on your plate, so you tend to concentrate on first things first. Yeah, but Nyamaza, namaliza. So that is one, acknowledging that time is limited and there's a time and season for everything. Number two, you must have tools of managing time. One, a watch. If not a watch, you should be having a clock. If not a clock, at least you should be having a phone, something that triggers you. You'll be having maybe an alarm that wakes you up. You need to, maybe by I think most of you have read the 5 a.m. Club book, by Robin Schumer. So you need to have a trigger, maybe the alarm to wake you up if you're a student. You start doing the main prep. You pray, you read your Bible, self-knowledge kiasi, maybe some do yoga, meditation, you journal, you plan your day. Then you do start your normal studies. Maybe at that time, because your brain is at peak hours, though we have exceptions like me who are night owls, we tend to have a higher concentration at night, so that there's no point for us to wake up early. So the previous night, we ensure we utilize our evening. So it's just a normal person, but alternated cycle or rhythm. So there's no problem. We learn to appreciate individual differences. So that is one tool. Another thing, you need to have a vision board. So it's through the vision board that you will now start deriving things like goals that you need to to hit, the milestones. You can have long-term goals, like in the next 10 years, by the end of the 10 years I should be able to do this. You can have medium-term goals, like by the end of 2 years I should be able to do this. You can have short-term goals, maybe by the end of this month, or before my next birthday, maybe I should have got published, I should have started this, you see. So you get to have that. Then you can now have weekly planners where you schedule your work, what you're expected to do. You can even automate it, so that maybe through your Google calendar or Calendly, you put all the things, especially for students. When you want to apply for scholarships, jobs, actually especially scholarships, you realize different scholarship programs have different deadlines. So it's good that you get to prioritize your calendar, so that by the next week, maybe we have Chevening, next week we have Erasmus. You start sending your application so that you don't miss on opportunities because of being disorganized. Then from there, now you from a week, you now start having a daily journal. You reflect, you have a diary. Maybe on Monday I will go and visit so and so, then you tick. Then at day, you can have uh, a to-do list. So I don't advocate for these papers as to-do list. Have maybe a key book or sticky notes, so that you can even be able to know how your day goes, instead of having papers and they're scattered everywhere. So for order, have a to-do list book, so where you ticking what you have achieved. If you haven't achieved, don't give up. You can reschedule and do it later. So thereafter, you can be checking in, have I accomplished this. You can even have an Excel worksheet, especially for your projects, to see what happens. My son is the VA. You can even have time management apps like Clockify, Calendly, kuna desk time, to help you manage your time, because you have a lot of time, so you have to be your own boss. Another thing that I said is order and scheduling. So you need to be organized. So especially parents who have teenagers and you're wondering how you're going to manage time, please come up with a list of tasks that need to be done, the non-negotiables and the negotiables. The negotiables and non-negotiables. Like for example, they need to brush, they need to spray their beds, they need to cook, help, maybe even in vacuuming or mopping the house, you see. Then there are other things, that are not really compulsory, like going to the farm, but they can help. So you have those tasks, then you agree on deadlines, who is going to perform what. Yeah, that is it. Another thing is have a routine. What I usually say, is success is in consistency. So if you're so keen, you've seen even the viral videos are usually on morning routines, evening routines by people who are successful, because people want to know what are you doing differently than what I'm doing that is ensuring that you're successful. So you need to cultivate a routine so that it becomes no habit. Maybe it's waking up at 5 every day. You need to endeavor, and that calls for mental toughness. It's not easy, for example, to say every day I must be exercising. Sometimes you wake up and you feel like, I'm so tired. Is it really worth it? But you have to force yourself to wake up. Force yourself against snoozing the button, because the moment you snooze the alarm, you lose the time. You'll wake up so disoriented. So yeah, that is it. Another thing is about goal setting. I've already said that, and we shall come to discuss it later on about the SMART, to do specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound goals. The characteristics of a good goal, and you need to be clear, so that it's not vague, like I want to do maybe computer package, but you have not said when. So it's really open. You need to give yourself timelines. Yeah, and that's how you instill discipline. Yeah. Another thing that I wrote is that you set time boundaries. Yeah. So sort of you have a timetable, especially for students. Have a timetable so that after this I'm supposed to transition to this, maybe a break, maybe next subject, you see. So it really helps you to have some order in your workflow. However, you need to be not to have a rigid timetable. It should be having some buffers, uh, margins for you to take care of the unexpected. Maybe as a teacher, I had a very rigid timetable, and I'm like, after this class I'm going to the next, after this I'm supposed to come and prepare my lesson plan, supposed to come and prepare maybe the worksheets, things like charts, nini. Then a student comes for consultation. That was not even within my schedule, and maybe they eat into my class time, you see. It will be disadvantageous. So it's good to have those margins to cater for the unexpected emergencies. Sometimes you find even you have maybe an impromptu staff meeting, briefs, so they eat into your time. So you need to have a flexible timetable. Another thing is immediate action. The one thing last year I learned, 2023, is execution. It doesn't matter how many books you have read, how many people you have heard from. It boils down to action, the ability to take action, execution, and it should be immediate. Yeah, don't just be there. I'm like, I want to get published, but you have not even written a sample, you've not even started. So you need to do first things first. Then another thing is the Ohio. Have you heard about it? One, only handle it once. Ohio, OHIO, only handle it once. If it's a task, let's say it was about you doing house chores, then you have the kitchen, you have bedrooms, you have what, you can decide to say, today we are doing general cleaning, but not everywhere. We're just concentrating with the kitchen, and we are doing it once and for all. Yeah, so that it doesn't become a bother. You do it once and for all. So you open the lockers there. You wash, you air, you clean everything, you wipe them dry and return. Yeah, you do it once and for all and you forget it. If it was about an assignment you have been given, handle it once and for all and you call it done. For example, yeah, still on the assignment, if it's in campus, you have been given a project as a team, meet even that day, go to the library. That's one thing I learned when I had some friends like Kina Eric, yeah, Ian. They taught me like immediate action, and you handle it only once for all. So you go to the library, do your research, compile, then it's ready for delivery, for marking. So you do it once and for all instead of piling work, which will give you more stress because you will have a lot of workload. Yeah, that's one thing you can do to manage time. Another thing is task batching. You have batches. Let's say it's about food. Instead of every day having to go buy tomatoes, nyanya, come and wash, come and do this, why don't you go and do shopping for maybe all the groceries you need? Come and wash the fruits, maybe put in their respective places. If it's the fruits to go to into the fruit basket, tomatoes to go into the fridge or freezer, the meat, everything you prep and you have batched everything. So next time you maybe want to cook, you just removing everything is ready for, yeah, you finish. So it's easier that way. Another thing I learned is about time boxing as I was doing my research. So time boxing is basically more of having a timetable, but here you tick boxes. You're like, by the end of the day I should be able to do ABCD. So you're like, in the morning maybe I can do washing, in the and breakfast. In the afternoon I can do maybe studies. Yeah, you get to have boxes on what follows what. Another thing is I'm trying to rearrange these things is to discourage procrastination. Procrastination is the thief of time. If there's something that will assassinate and spoil everything, is procrastination. So avoid postponing. Do it on the spot. If you can't, reschedule and do it, but ensure you have or endeavor to finish that task. Another thing is the Pomodoro technique. I don't know whether you have heard about it. So basically the Pomodoro technique, you program yourself maybe for 25 minutes of concentrated work. So here you must have a timer. It's more of a marathon. After this 25 minutes I will have a 5-minute break, then again do another intensive activity for the next 25 minutes, take another 5 minutes break. You do like that maybe for 4 rounds, then now you take a major break. So here basically it's all about work, rest to reduce even the fatigue, getting tired. So during the break you can take water, you can take your coffee, you can go to the washroom, you can skip a robe, you can do some exercise, you can change your position. So basically you're doing some changes, you're not within that place, yeah, which would have otherwise led you to even have reduced concentration. So it helps you to refresh and before you continue other tasks. Another thing is to have an accountability partner. So it's good to have accountability partners who will be like, oh, did you do this task? You said you were to achieve this by the end of the week, so give me a summary of what you did, and that's where supervisors come in. Yeah, I know we need to work under minimum supervision, but sometimes you need to be followed up. So yeah, so that comes in handy. Finally, actually, is it finally? It's divide and conquer. Sometimes You just have to divide your time and decide that you are going to be strict and adhere to that. Then there's something I even discussed earlier on and I want to repeat, and that is the Eisenhower Matrix. What does it say? So here it's all about prioritization. Yeah, setting your priorities right. So there are those things which are urgent and important. There are those which are important but not urgent. There are those which are not important and then urgent. And there are those which are not important and they're not urgent. Like the ones which are not important and they're not urgent, you can eliminate. The ones which are, yes, not important but they are urgent, you can get to delegate to someone. Maybe it's a meeting, a conference that needs to be attended, you can go. For things that are very urgent, very important, you need to execute, on the spot. There is no negotiation there. For those things that are important but they're not urgent, maybe I have to mark children's scripts. The deadline is far. So those ones I can schedule at a later time. Maybe I can mark at night. Yeah. So yeah. So that is it. There's also the part that I wanted to emphasize. Minimize on distractors. Minimize on distractors, especially if you're using phone. You can decide to put modes that will be do not disturb. For example, you should not be having notifications. You can even go on flight mode, so that, like right now when I'm shooting, I try my best to go on flight mode so that I don't have disturbances. Yeah, so that's one of the things you can do to reduce a lot of priorities or time wastage things. So I hope you've learned something. And finally, yeah, let God. We can, as human beings, we plan, but God has better plans for us. Yeah, so you surrender to Him and be willing to forgive yourself whenever you feel like you have not met that target. Until next time, I hope you have gained knowledge. Please let me know in the comment section. I'd love to engage with you. Yeah, also like, comment, subscribe, and share. Yeah, until next time, bye.